Hi there, this is Ranjit and I have the Samsung Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge, and in this video we'll be doing the unboxing and have a first look at the S7 Edge. And we are getting the 32GB variant as of now in India, and this is the black onyx. So let me just open this up, and the Edge is having a slightly larger screen this time, and let me show you the box. And regarding the pricing, the price quoted here on the box is 62,100, but this is not correct. The retail price, this is the retail price for the S7 Edge in India is 56,900, and for the regular S7 is 48,900. So let's just open this up, and again it's having that software SIM lock, looks like that. That's why first time you use it, you have to use it with an Indian SIM for I think so 10 odd minutes. You have to make calls, then other SIMs will work. And the box is a little bit different, and again we are getting the Octa Core, that is the Exynos processor here in India. I'll talk about all the other specs. In fact, the camera is really interesting, so I'll talk about the camera later on. And here is the box, so let's open it up. And here we have the device itself. This is the black onyx. Let's see what else do we get in the box. We have the SIM ejector tool that's highlighted, and some paperwork looks like that. So we have the quick start guide. The SIM ejector tool is a little bit different this time. So this is the new SIM ejector tool, and the quick start guide, and this is the SAR info. Let me give you more info regarding that. And here it says that the head rating for SAR is just 0.296, but I did a little bit of digging, and these are not the US head SAR values. The US head SAR values are 1.17. These are the EU values. So the SAR rating, if we take the US values that should be given, is 1.17. And we also get a USB OTG drive and warranty card. So let me keep these things to the side. And again, this is the new accessory that we are getting, that is the USB OTG drive. So you can directly attach your pen drives and stuff to this one. That's interesting. And the charger is a fast charger. Again, this was the one that we saw even with the Note 5. Output at 9 volts at 1.67 amps. So sort of like Qualcomm quick charging 2 that we get on this one. Again, as you can see, adaptive fast charging. So here we have the headphones. Again, they are still white in color, but just the casing is like this. And this was the same one that we got even with the Note 5. It's pretty decent for what you're getting for free, I would say, but nothing that spectacular. So let's look at the handset itself now. So this is the handset. Let me just take out this plastic coverings that we have. And again, so we also have one over here, so looks a lot better. And this one actually looks a lot black, I would say, compared to the earlier S6 that had a bluish, dark bluish tint. As you can see, this looks like jet black. And again, the camera hump is a lot lower. And let me boot this up, and by the time it actually boots up, let me give you a configuration overview. The Galaxy S7 Edge has a 5.5-inch Super AMOLED screen with Gorilla Glass 4 protection. It is also IP68 certified. That means it's water and dust resistant. Moving to the processor, it has the Exynos 8890 Octa Core processor, which is divided into two parts. The first quad core is based on the Samsung's Mongoose architecture, clocked at 2.3 GHz, and the other quad core is based on the ARM Cortex A53, clocked at 1.6 GHz. It has 4 GB of RAM, 32 GB of internal storage. It is also a dual SIM device with hybrid SIM slot. That means it can accept a micro SD card. Moving to the GPU, it has the Mali T880 MP12 GPU. It has a 3600 milliamp hour battery. It also supports wireless charging. And moving to the camera, the rear facing camera is a 12 megapixel shooter with f1.7 lens with dual pixel technology, and the front facing camera is a 5 megapixel shooter, and this also has a f1.7 lens. So I've just finished setting up this device, and this is the first boot. And before we proceed, let me give you a overview. And this is the SIM slot, and now this has this always on display mode. I'll show you that later. And let's look at the SIM tray, because it's now a dual SIM, and you can add 2 nano SIMs or 1 nano SIM and a micro SD card slot. So the micro SD card slot is back, and finally we are having a dual SIM variant, but again it's a hybrid solution that we have. And you'll notice that we are missing the IR blaster. IR blaster is sadly not there on this one, and we have the power on off button over here, and we have that edge screen. On the bottom, we have the speaker, main microphone, a micro USB slot that will be used for charging, and the headphone jack. And on this end, we have the volume rockers. And in fact, I have to say, Samsung has done a very good job in terms of the in-hand feel. Though it is having that 5.5-inch screen, due to this curved back, the glass is also curved a little bit. It feels nice to hold, and frankly speaking, it does not feel like that you're holding a 5.5-inch device. Let's check the fingerprint also. I did set up the fingerprint, so as you can see, that works. Let's try again. Okay. So yeah, the fingerprint scanner is working. Now let's look at the other settings. If you just go down, again it's the touch wiz that we have, so but the color scheme I have noticed is changed a little bit, and it says that we already have a software update, and looks like some Microsoft apps like OneNote etc are pre-installed. And let's look at the settings and about the if you go to about the device, and if we go to, this is the model number that we have, and if we go to software info, it's running on the Android version 6.0.1. so you're getting Marshmallow out of the box on this device. So let's just go back and let's look at the storage. How much do we actually get out of that 32 gigabytes? And out of that 32 gigabytes, you get 24.34 gigabytes of space free. But again, we can also add a micro SD card on this one. So storage should not be a issue. Let's look at what are the apps. And this is the new TouchWiz that Samsung has installed. And if you go towards the left, again, it's that flipboard, but it's not lagging. But again, I personally don't like that, and I disable it anyways. Google folder with Google apps, and if we go over here, yes, looks like some of the apps are pre-installed like Instagram and WhatsApp. Again, Microsoft Office Suite is also pre-installed, Skype is there, so a little bit of bloatware, and Samsung specific apps like S Health and S Voice. We also have the file manager, that's my file, and we also have Samsung Gear and pre-installed. So there is a little bit of bloatware that is pre-installed, but not a lot of bloatware. This is the only page that we have, so it's okay, I would say. And let's just try to actually change the wallpaper. It's a pretty dull wallpaper for such an AMOLED screen. All the wallpapers are pretty dull this time. I don't know why Samsung went with this one. As you can see, I'll definitely try to install more attractive wallpapers. And this is the edge screen that we have. As you can see, we have this pane. Let me just go back over here, the small edge. This is the edge screen pane, and using this you can put in your favorite apps and stuff. Now we have 2 rows instead of 1 that we had earlier. We also have this new thing called Task Edge. I'll try to play around with that, and we can also add our favorite contacts. So the edge functionality is there, and again, these are some of the edge panes. So that's the main difference. But again, this what do you say, S7 Edge has a 3600 milliamp hour battery, which is a huge improvement over the earlier Galaxy S6 Edge, which had just a 2600 milliamp hour battery. So I'm expecting that the battery life should be really good. But I'm not a big fan of this color scheme. It's too white as of now. I doubt we can change that, but again, that's the new theme that we get. Now, one thing that Samsung was talking a lot about is the camera, and what they have now done is it's a 12 megapixel shooter instead of the 16 megapixel shooter that we have earlier, but the pixels are a lot wider. In the earlier S6, it had a pixel size of 1.12, but this one has 1.4 micron pixel. That means it can gather in a lot of light. And also the lens is a f1.7 lens. That means it can gather a lot of light. And according to Samsung, due to the larger pixels and the f1.7 lens, it can gather almost 95% more light compared to the regular Galaxy S6. That means technically it should do a lot better in low lighting situations and in artificial lighting. And also it has the dual pixels which assists in autofocusing. So let's look at the camera. Let's do this double tap to home, and as you can see, it quickly launches. Let me show you again. Let me unlock. Let's just go back to home, and from anywhere you can just double tap. One peculiar thing that I've noticed is now the home button is also the physical button is black in color, so it just blends in this. In the earlier versions of Samsung devices, you could easily look at it, but here it's like sort of camouflaged, if you notice. But anyways, if you just double tap, it opens the camera. And let's look at the camera interface, and it has the tap to focus again, really fast as expected. These are some of the sample pics that I took with the Galaxy S7 Edge, and as you can see, the pictures have a lot of detail in them, and these are taken in semi-indoor conditions, and this also came out to be actually really sharp in my opinion. Also, this was in completely artificial lighting, and I feel it does a good job even in artificial lighting. Definitely, I'll test out the camera, and I'll try to post a dedicated video regarding the camera performance, and I'll also test it with the Nexus 6P, because I feel the Nexus 6P does very good in low lighting situations. So guys, that's it for now for the unboxing and first look at the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. If you have any specific questions regarding this device, do post them in the YouTube comments and I'll try to include them in my review. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit and I hope to see you in my next video.